Keshav. I am a UI developer, I can say, 15 years. Right now working in Mobile Change. Yes, Hyderabad is, I'm in Hyderabad for 2 months. Before that I was in Bangalore. I have been a Meetup enthusiast for it. Looking forward to this. Thank you.
Okay, hi. Is it audible, everyone? Okay, so very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wadad Parker. I am an PhD at ATS. So I work as a full stack developer. I basically handle everything front end, back end, DB, infra testing, actually anything that you say. I really love front end development, and I'm starting to like SQL, and I have a love-hate relationship with Azure. I love it when it works. I hate it when I have to make it work. Really part of the panel over here. Really excited for this. We'll have a great session.
Thanks for the introduction, Wadad and Keshav. So, this is our first meetup, right? We want to have a basic understanding of meetups, open source, communities, content. So, we'll try to keep it light. Obviously, we will talk about a lot of things. So, after the panel discussion, there will be it's open. You guys can connect with the panelists, the speakers, and discuss about talk about some projects. So you can take it further after the panel discussion. Okay. So okay, this is one of the most amazing panel that you guys see because everyone here is such a great engineer in the front end. So I'm really thankful to all of you to become part of this. We'll start with the very basic thing that I think everybody knows here. But it's important to reflect on that part, which is open source. So everybody knows about open source. Like anybody who doesn't know about it? Okay, great. So open source is something that it's if you are part of open source, if you are having a project that you want to showcase to the world, you show it via this open source tools and everything, like GitLab. It's the best way to showcase your skills, and the most important other thing is it's a good way to get a good job, good remote job. It's a good mark. Okay, that's my perspective. I will give it to our panelists, and they can talk about more about open sources. And yeah, over to you guys.
Yeah, so open source, open source is the core of our engineering. Everywhere we are using some library package session, we store it. We know it is free, that's why we are storing it. So that's open source, but the driving force for the open source is we are the people. We are doing something, and open source is like, it's not like I have to do some, use that one, that is not open sourcing, you have to contribute also. To find some issue, my perspective is raising issue to the library is also open source contribution. You have to raise issue, there are something issue, because you want to be part of one, there is some issue, you can say, and also you can say, I want to solve it. If you solve it, so open source is like, there is many way open source, more people say, read me, update, read me, October 1st, get things like, people don't use open source as like just for you want to contribute. I say open source, go there, how they, which, it will help you to how software need to build. You can create some library, I have packages, library extensions, how it works. That makes you very confident, and you will get give respect to the person who is developing React. Many libraries are there. React is right now open source. Now they just free it for the open source. So my take is that you have to contribute it. Before contribute, you have to go and check that how it is like built, how you can build your own self using this small, then you take a form of it, try to learn it, try to use it. By that way, you can be a part of open source community, and then you can contribute.
Um, I did mention that I have around 16 years experience, I have seen it all, you know. But when it comes to open source, this is something that I understood quite late. In fact, couple of months back only, that how important it is to give back to community. Now, I always consider, I write a lot of articles on Medium, and I have two doing that, but I was in one of the meetups where it was explained to us how do you do contribute to open source, why it is important. And we all know we are not creating, we are not reinventing wheels ourselves. We are taking it from the community, so we have to give it back. So come to such kind of meetups where you get more ideas. This is one of the topics. Some of our experts will be able to help you. So connect with them. I'm also learning. Despite having so much experience, this is something which I'm also learning. So use this opportunity to learn and share it with me. If you guys are doing any open source contribution, share it with me. Maybe I'll also want to do that further.
So even I don't have 16 years of experience, but the thing I share with her is that I have not much into open source. So when when I was starting to learn programming, right, one thing which caught my eye was that everything is free, and everything is free because great engineers have put a lot of effort to make it free. The spirit of engineering is about not gatekeeping and not giving anything to yourself. And engineers, some of the great authors that you see, right? Let's say Ryan Lawrence, he's the author of React, and he created React just out of one day, he just wanted to make React better, and that's how he came up with the React library. Today it has gone up so much, right? So if you want to contribute to open source, right, you don't have to think of it like I have to make some big project and do it everything. No. Open source is about you, your skills, your knowledge being available to public free. Be it in the form of talks, be it in the form of blogs, be it in the form of some project which is helping some company or not. And open source contribution is about you contributing your time and energy to something that you believe in. If you have some technologies, let's say your React is open source and everything is open source, not just those things, right? Something that you are using every day in your company. If you're using some particular technology or some particular project, right, and you come across some bug, and that bug is blocking your business. So what you do is that you going ahead and contributing a PR to that particular repository will help your business to have a feature. That is what the spirit of open source is. Some companies, okay, some developers do it because they want greater benefit of the entire ecosystem, and some do it for the benefit of their company. Okay, but the one thing is that you don't do it to get a job, right? So don't go with the mindset that okay, I have to get a job, I have to open source. It's not about it. And yes, I have personally not used open source, but Ashik over here has contributed to open source. He'll be the best to speak about it.
Okay, so I think I would disagree with the entire panel here because for me open source how it started was it started around 10 years ago. I was still in college. I was in my first year, and so I was attending this small meetup in the college, and the seniors they were just talking about open source, and I did not understand about it. Honestly. All I could just see there was that there is this Hacktoberfest where every October you just raise 3 PRs on any open source repositories and you get a free t-shirt. So that's how I started with open source, and my first open source contribution was 2015, and it was just a readme file. There was a spelling mistake, I just corrected that, that was my first PR. So I definitely disagree because it has always been a very, very funny journey, right? I started with just like a selfish thing, I wanted a t-shirt. The next year we was giving out these goodies, I wanted those. So I would just randomly, go to these any open source, repos and I would just start contributing some random shit. I would just update the package for JSON. I would just, fix spelling mistakes. That is how I started. And then eventually, I think I realized a lot later that there is immense power and learning that you can get from open source. In fact, in fact, it would be very surprising for you to know that the biggest projects are all built on open source. The biggest softwares are all built on open source. Linux is the largest open source, right? It has thousands and thousands of contributions every single day, even now. Yet, everybody uses it. I don't think there can be any software developer who does not use it, right? And that is open source. So, I realized that, after this whole era of, just running behind goodies and t-shirts and so many things, that Milchkit does a lot of things in open source. I personally contribute a lot of things in open source. But yesterday I released one more open source library, and in the next few days I'm going to release another one. So in all, I feel that most of these businesses that we know about, or let's say we don't even know about, they're all based on open source. Like if I talk about Milchkit, it is code likely, it is closed source. Let's say GitHub is closed source, YouTube is closed source. But at the base of it, everything is open source. YouTube cannot function without this library called FFmpeg. Right? That is the core of, like it is the god of video editing. Right? There is nothing in the world around videos that can live without it, and that is open source. Right? I recently, saw this news article. I think it was a blog article or news article about this guy who invented VLC there. He was offered billions of dollars to, put ads in his player or maybe just sell it, but he decided to open source it. And now it is being used by so many people. Right? Everybody uses it. Right? So I think that's the power of open source, and I think from the whole, the era where it was more like a selfish move, it is now become something more for me personally, where I feel that I'm actually contributing something back to the community because I'm using it so often. Like every single project that I do is either in React or Node. Both are open source. TypeScript is open source. Right? So when I'm using so much, why not just give a fraction of it back? So that is the whole mindset that I have, and that I wake up every morning and I feel that what I want to contribute back to the community today. And I think that's where I want to keep contributing more and more to open source. But I still agree with them. I disagree with them because for me it was more like a selfish thing.
Thanks for sharing. So I would say I don't disagree with anyone of fairness. I mean, everybody has their own motive to start with open source, whether it's learning, whether it's giving back to the community, whether it's a job. I personally started open source because coming from a service-based background, I didn't have projects. I had knowledge, but I didn't not showcasing it to the outside world. So I believe that whatever your aim is, right, whatever you want to do, whether it's like you want to learn, you want to contribute, you want to showcase your skill, it's up to you. But being a part of open source gives you a lot of learning, which I think everybody would agree. So yeah, it's a great, it's a great thing to start. Coming to open source, we are here at first event of ReactHyderabad, right? And I have been part of a lot of communities across India, specifically React communities, and some of them which we are actually collaborating with. So React Rajasthan, React Kolkata, Chennai React, and React Indore. They are collaborating with us and they are actually helping us spread the word about React Hyderabad. So I think there's one thing that I would definitely want to say that I think communities are one of the best places to learn because we all are. I would say 90% of us are software developers, right? This is our social life. So if you are going to be software developer for the rest of like let's say 20 years, you should be up to date because for say let's say 10 years back the tech stack was different. PHP developers at that time were earning a lot of money. Right now they're not earning a lot of money. React developers are earning. Okay. So maybe in 10 years something else comes up. So it's always good to have learn from the community, learn from like go to these meetups and every network with people, understand like what other things are going on. You have YouTube. You can learn or you can even if there is someone who does not know React, they can learn it in 1 minute. I can guarantee that. But you will not learn the experience. So the topics that our speakers present, you will not get it directly on YouTube. When you join these meetups, you will get to learn and understand a lot of perspectives. I will not speak that much. I'll give it to Keshav. He is very experienced in going to these communities, so he can share his thoughts.
Yeah, so meetups like these are new open source for me for last 4 years. I was in Bangalore, earlier I was in different cities. I never go meetups, I see some events are happening, something is, I thought some people are doing it, I don't know where I belong to. But in Bangalore when I started it, I see Bangalore has a very much vibe of it. Definitely Hyderabad, because I am new to Hyderabad. So there are like so many events are happening And by going only there, you understand how people are doing amazing jobs, and you even don't know that this is existing. You are struggling at your workplace, something like testing. You are doing something. You don't know what is the playwright. I see your one of the Nexus conference playwright was there. I just get the idea, heads up on it, and I just read about it. And later now it is being used in my organization and everywhere. So you have to one step ahead because something somewhere someone started and they want to showcase on some platform. There are a small platform. First they start from small. We are starting today. It might be go big. So always like try to go one-to-one meetup is the online events are also happening. That is not much engaging, but personal meetups are very good. You come to know many people. Many people's networking is good things. Food you are getting, okay, that is good thing. I always look and t-shirts, goodies that are also bonus. So you have to go there. You have to understand. Learn. Stickers मिलते हैं. My kids are happy. Papa coming with stickers. So overall, it's good experience and like this is open source now. We are taking the open source. I must say good first issue. If you go to GitHub, search for the text good first issue. There are many repo. There are good first issues are there. You should try using that one. And can't use it. If somebody is showing somewhere their technology, go to their repo. Their repo is open source because they are here. Go there, read it. There might be a mistake because many people are doing. You can start doing that. This is the suggestions. This can be do it. And meetups events like you always keep. I always say keep a copy of it. I have a notebook. I have a full book of notebook of last 4. Bangalore I attended 100 plus meetups. So different meetups like I go even like Ola did it on event. I went there. I see how they was like bigger companies how they was. So they are doing some different level. There are games and everything, and they are doing very large level. Google, Amazon. So my company is also doing some meetups event, but I never go there. Yeah, because there we feel like little bit I have to be in my boundaries. But here you are free. You can talk to anybody, you make a network, and you feel good after going. You should feel good. That means आज कुछ मिले सीखा. That is the core thing. I learn something. Even I learn that I don't know this. That is also learning. So it's a start of learning, and it's key to because daily life. If you are in daily job, you are less opportunity to learn because you have to stick with your statistics. But to learning, either you go to YouTube, go to somewhere, instead of that, go to the person, meet the person, see how he is doing. He is the best because whoever is presenting here, they done some maths. Because I have been a speaker there, I have to prepare. It's not like I just did it. Because I know somebody question me, then I have to be able to answer it. Even I am not able to, I come to know, okay, this kind of question also come, I have to prepare next time. So you try to contribute also, not be only audience, try to next time I will do it. Because once I was there, somebody was presenting, I said, it's very easy to make it. So I started, my first meetup was in a Flipkart. So there was, I just give a CSS color theory. I just went into the colors, how many colors are in the CSS, and when I go deep into it, it was so vast. So means there are so many syntax in the CSS. One color can be presented 64 kind of syntax. So you have to know what kind of. So when I go, because when I have to present it, I have to prepare for it. So that's make your makes your skill develop. Whether you present or not, you prepare a PPT, you prepare some things. That's make you confident. So you should go and you should contribute. You should try to CFP report what I call for speakers होता है ना. CFP opens. So sometimes what is CFP I don't know. MC. I said what is MC? So MC is like so that's keyword. Some keyword will come. So you will come to know what it is. So अगर swags बोल रहे हैं, कहीं इसको merchandise बोल रहे हैं, कहीं इसको goodies बोलते हैं. I have to know what exactly is called, how to get it. That is your first things to go. That is motivation. Motivation can be food. Motivation can be knowledge. Motivation can be stickers. So you get your motivation. Saturday होता है, Saturday Sunday happens. Go fun around it. It's not 2-3 hours. You will learn something. Either you will see the people. Right now we are not seeing the people. We are seeing the mobiles. So it's good to go outside.
Continue clapping for yourself because you guys came out on Sunday. So we give a big round of applause.
one thing I remember, she said like when she's representing women and like that women should come in these meetups. Yeah, it's really good. Like unlike your family meetups, no one is going to send your marriage proposal. Okay, so when you say about meetups, I'll tell you my first meetup. My first meetup was in October of 2023 in ReactHyderabad. I don't live in Bangalore, I was living in Mumbai, so I traveled overnight for that meetup. And I traveled for just one reason. It was to meet, because at that meetup, Shruti Balasa was giving her talk. So for those of you who may not know Shruti Balasa, she is the CSS queen, according to my opinion. She has written many books on payment, grid and flex. It's because of her I learned what is grid and what is flex. It's because of her I'm able to create pixel perfect designs. And you know, you can tell that the way she wrote, the way she explained was the kind of vision I wanted to have as a student, right? And when I got to know she's giving a talk, I realized that I can get to meet my heroine. Yeah. So I traveled and I met her. Okay, I listened to her talk and I spoke to her, and she also was happy. And then there's always a statement like never meet your heroes, but in the tech it's opposite. Always meet your heroes. Because when you meet your heroes, right, you realize that your heroes and heroines are like normal people. Okay, they are not arrogant, they are not nothing, and they are very down to earth. And tech is the only place where you can have easy access to your heroes via these meetups. Right? Imagine that you're working as an actor or an actress, and then you come to a meetup and you see Shah Rukh Khan over there. That is not possible in the Bollywood industry, right? But here in the tech, in this meetup, it is possible because we have met so many of our heroes and heroines in such meetups and communities, right? And there's always someone that even your heroes will have their own heroes. And it's very great to see such a positive atmosphere that we get to meet, right? And like we are what? We are software engineers, right? We are software developers. Our entire job is to, be in front of a screen for 8 hours every day. Unless your chairman's surname is last name.
Yeah, we might need to lose that part. I don't want to get banned.
But yeah, like imagine, because when I first attended the meetup, right? Imagine, right? Like for a profession where you are just in your office, right? And you're just coding, you come out here and you have all these people, you're talking everyone now. You have a perception that we are introverts, right? But we are over here and we are talking to each other. And also the things that we discuss, right, are common fashions. We don't share it with everyone else, right? For example, like in your family get-togethers, maybe your uncles will talk about politics and all, but who will explain them what is cause? Who is going to, get the shared pain of that? Or what's real, what's deeper or everything? No. Here, this is our kind of people where you can interact with and you can learn completely, right? So that's why I say that meetups should go. And secondly, that's there that meetups will be beneficial for you. I once got an interview opportunity just by coming to meetup. Yes, I didn't clear because I feel that days around. Yeah, but still, there's happen, right? And networking is a very great thing. But the thing about networking is that people think that networking is only for getting a job. That is partially true. But the thing is that there is a statement, okay? The best time to network was 2 years ago. Means if you don't want a job today, you don't go on networking on today to everyone. You have to do it 2 years ago, you build a network. When you come to such meetups and you keep on showing your faces, right? Everybody knows you, everybody remembers you. And when we are transitioning to an era where instead of blindly hiring from a pool of a sea of candidates, we refer people that we know and we work with and we trust you. So if you're coming here, you're talking, and after the meetup, you're like, okay, let's go play some cricket, and then you're also discussing tech and all. You foster a familiar bond, and that bond can get you places, right? Because that's what it is. That's my thing about meetups and communities, and I highly encourage you that keep on showing up to ReactHyderabad meetup, make it a good success. Hyderabad is very famous for a lot of meetups, by Hyderabad and everything. So very surprising to find like a new meetup, right? So when I see React with that, like, it's on you to make it like really new success. That's all.
I would like to say one thing for Harshit. Yeah, I think in family gatherings, right, we usually get like Yeah, just need to sit on front of the screen, right? Just go and take a bite, sell some biscuits, and you will know how the world works. So I would say that yeah, these networking events, specifically not specific to React, but meetups, tech meetups in general, it's like you get a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience just by attending it. So yeah, please attend these meetups and do attend React Hyderabad as well. Now I'll give it to Harshit.
Okay, so I think most of the points they were addressed by the other panelists are just right and just to the point. I just have two things to add. One, I think second on Wadad's point that meetups can actually help with the job. Before which kid I was working at this company called Postman, and believe it or not, I got that job from a meetup. So I used to be regular in Bangalore during these meetups, and that's how I landed here. And so yeah, I can definitely say that you can get a job from meetups. In fact, my last meetup, I got this. Two guys walked up to me and they're like, "Can you work with us as a freelancer? We want somebody who can architect our system." So you can get a job, and it's not very difficult, honestly. So that is point one. The second point, it's a very funny incident. So the essence of community is not the first time that I'm speaking on. So there was this one meetup I think 4 years ago that I attended, and I asked this one random guy I met. I think I don't remember his name, but I asked him the question that why do you attend meetups? I was very new to meetups back then. He used to be a regular, so I asked him why do you attend meetups, and the answer he gave me was an outlier. He said, I'm just looking for a partner. And he's like, I'm single for so long and I just want somebody who can just, be on the same mindset as me. I am a software engineer, I don't want a software engineer. And there is no way you can put filters on Twitter and Bumble. So that's why I am coming to meetups. And so I met this guy, maybe a couple of months later in one of these meetups. And I asked him, so are you single or are you seeing somebody? And he's like, I'm seeing somebody, I met her in a meetup. So yeah, that's an added advantage of coming to meetups. If you're single, you can find somebody here. So yeah, I
Don't
think
make weird though. Don't go to. I hesitate to say it to all the single guys. Don't go to all the girls and say, "Are you single?" and you want to.
but then, I also agree to Rajka's point that we need more women to come to meetups because otherwise it's not going to work out for us. So yeah, maybe as like the male audience, we should kind of like just propagate this agenda that you just maybe get all your female co-workers and everybody in your network to these meetups so that at least if not you, somebody else can get a part.
And
Yeah, that's an example of open source. You're giving back to the community.
And one thing I want to upload to the first time speaker, always encourage first time speaker. You know what it is. Okay? Because you never know how knowledge is required. Trust me, because you try to do it. Even you try, people are not trying. Somebody is trying. So always upload because उनके meetup में there are some issue comes. You don't reject them. इसमें कुछ बनाया नहीं. You see that we try to do something. So always encourage the people and always if you are not, because I have when Slow contacted me, I have a list of meetup talks because I see so many talks. I said I can even talk on this point, this point, this point, this point. I have 8 meetups ready, slides are ready, but I don't think that this is the right things. This is the because somebody is doing something good, then I said okay, let's listen this one. That can be way. But you prepare yourself. One day it will come. Somebody is missing. Like suppose in one meetup I went there. One was meetup in Walmart. I met them Facebookally personally. So there was one more meetup of one company. There was like I was there and one speaker there. The screen was not okay and he was not ready. So he was very disappointed. But then they said somebody want to display something. So I have my sheets ready. Okay, and on online. I put it online, I have a website. So I said I present there. So it's ready to go. You have to prepare क्या पता कब opportunity मिल जाए. So you have to be means very prompt you have to be generous that somebody is doing some things. Always be grateful that you are learning and you are also means you are coming here for this day. This is good. You have to be more productive and not only only react, okay, go different meetups to meet different people. I have to go to meetup, a psychology meetup. One day I go. I said, what they are doing? Let me see. Somebody like some marathons are going, some day meetups, some books lovers meetups going on. So you have to explore because you are not stick to one. But means I am a developer. It's not my single personality. You have to spin around. You have to know some travel blogs, travel meetups. Okay, you go there. IIT am going there. IIT in the Indian International Travel Mart. I always go there. What happens? You come to know how many Indias, how many states are there, and what is their things. I got opportunity. I went recently. Went to like Andaman, but I got to know how cheap it is, how good it is because of going to the travel mart. So I went to means don't stick yourself with only these things because you can explore on today's generation. You can only explore like via mobile or via person or go to the events. You will find something good. Even you come to know that this event वापस नहीं जाना यहाँ बेकार होता है. You at least come to know. So you have to set some filters. कि ये filters अच्छे नहीं होते, यहाँ पे सिर्फ ऐसा ही होता है. You have to set because your choices. But you until you don't know, or most of the like I see, this is like in Bangalore, some meetups are happening. They like flex so much, you feel FOMO. There is nothing to FOMO, okay? Nothing to FOMO. I have been there. If you missing it, nothing is missing. You can start any day, just like Mara said, you can start today. So start like whenever you find it, and it's always happening in weekends. It's a good to time pass. So it's learning.
So I just have one more point here. So now that we're talking about community, and since React Hyderabad is a new meetup that's starting, right? So these professions like being an actor or being a stand-up comedian or let's say being in this music industry where you're just fighting to get that one opening act to make that to make a big breakthrough. Being a speaker is far easier. You don't have to go around begging people for giving you an opening spot. Like just if you just think about it, yesterday I was attending a Bangalore, like flew to Hyderabad today morning. Yesterday night I was attending Samir Anna show, and there was this guy. I think his name is Kushal Parashar. So nobody ever heard of this guy. Kullu. Kullu. I don't know.
His name is Kullu.
Okay. Yeah. So he had an opening act, and then when Samir walked onto the stage, he was just narrating how this guy literally begged him for months and months to give him an opening act. So that is not the case here. In tech, getting onto the stage, being a speaker is far more easier. And I would just encourage everybody because since this is a new meetup and they will be looking for speakers, it's just a good opportunity to just maybe come up with something, just one topic that that you can prepare and you can speak about it for 30 minutes. Just put in a proposal. No matter if it's accepted, not accepted, put in multiple proposals, put in the same proposal like 2-3 times, एक बार को इधर ऐसे, and then one time is a break, and that's a 5-star experience. I mean, if you see me, if you watch me speaking today, it's not something that I just did overnight. It takes months and months to prepare. It takes months and months to be confident where you are able to speak in front of 50 people, right? And I think maybe like May this year, I spoke to a crowd of 1,200 people. Now that I was very scared, honestly, because I had never had that huge of a crowd. Because I still feel that I am not an expert in anything. In fact, 3 years ago I was working on front-end development. I started my career in back-end. And now I'm speaking at front-end events that is beyond my imagination. But again, the first step is something that makes it. Just keep exploring and do not shy away from speaking. So yeah, that's
I would like to add to this. Conference of dedicated for React in Bangalore. And there, when I was attending for the second time, I thought, I will stay on YouTube all the time. I edit videos, why not take interviews of the people around? And I was trying to get Harshit on that day, but Harshit, I couldn't get Harshit, so it was second day. So after you talk, I talked to Rahul. Rahul is the CEO of ImageGate. And I talked to him, I interviewed him, and then I talked to him personally. And from there, our talk started, and then I got to meet Anubhav from ImageGate. And then we talked about possible opportunity, they can provide some sponsorship for the event. So our first event, getting a sponsor is a big deal. People who have organized events in their college or if you are organizing something, I think Raven will relate to me. It's a big deal for us to get a sponsor, and that happened because I was part of these communities. Part of these communities. So we thank the community and we thank Meetup actually believing us, and Harshit traveled from all the way from Bangalore, Wadad traveled all the way from Bangalore as well, Raja is coming from Delhi to support these meetups. So it's like these meetups are not, you might think that okay, this is something that I already know, but there can be some other person who doesn't know that particular topic, and they will be like, okay, this is also happening with here. You cannot do everything, right? So being part of the communities is going to give you like 1000% back. Not today maybe, but maybe in the coming time. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. So he's saying you will crack a developer joke here and nobody will judge you. Right?
I have visited recently in one of wedding I went there. The girl's name is Santwana, and there are people standing near that one. I said, this is console load. Console is load. So I find it is console load. But there is console with Santwana. And there are people are there, low with people. And it's a console.log. So you find this kind of joke, witty joke, only the developer can create the joke and they can understand. You can't create that in your wedding. What are you talking about? So you find like wittiness, because whenever you see, I see one of my earlier incident, like one of the designer was there. My client was doing something, he was checking, do the design change, design change. So he was very frustrated. The designer was very frustrated. So he went the classes name based on the client name and with some slang word. Alex key, when error is coming, Alex key is not found. I said what to write it here. So he said he was very frustrated. So you will come to know this kind of joke, this develop like in daily life you find humor. Don't be his technology is not like be a test. It's a humor. And you find humor here. Somebody is doing something some different way. Whenever you are learning something, you have to make sure that you learn in a fun way, not in a hard way. So here is a way to learn in the fun way.
Just to sum it up, this is an exercise for you. Before the event ends today, just make sure that you meet 3 new people outside of your circle in this meetup. And not just going and hey, what's your LinkedIn and you decide and then you forget. No, I'm not talking about that. Actually, you have to ask them what's their name, okay, and what company they're from, what are they working on, and actually try to get to know such people. And maybe who knows, like next meetup, if you meet the same people, they will recognize your face, maybe not your name. Happens with me sometimes. So it happens, okay. But what happens is that when you continuously come to this meetup, then maybe you form a bond, right? So this is an exercise, okay. 3 new people, not just for the sake of it, okay, not just LinkedIn, but actually get to know. Alright?
Thanks for that. So, we don't have time. We wanted to discuss more about a lot of other topics, but I guess we'll do it next time in our next meetup. We'll soon announce it on our socials. I would like you guys to, give them a huge round of applause. Thank you for your time to come to React Hyderabad and support our team. They believed in us, and they supported me. When I was talking to Keshav, I was very tense 1 week back, and he called me and he said, "Bro, chill, it's fine." And then that 5-minute talk with him, senior, as a big brother, he told me that something is out of your hands. And even when I was talking to Aprajita, she said that whatever happens, it's part of learning as well. So they believed in me, they believed in the team, and everyone showed their support. And you guys came to the first meetup, so it's a great achievement for React Africa, and I'm very thankful to all of you. And we'll sum the panel discussion. Okay. So we'll sum the panel discussion, and then just have just one more thing to say. So yeah, before that, we will take a group photo at the end. But yeah, how do you feel? Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Give us a
the end of my talks and panels, I always share a developer joke because I believe that as developers, laughter is very important. Alright, so the dev joke of the day is this. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. A PR a day keeps the PM away.
That's a good one.